Good morning, everyone. My name is Ravi Raghunath, and I'm your presenter today for the newest and the most affordable BSc in Trinidad and Tobago, and that's the BSc in Information Technology from the University of Bedfordshire. So just a bit about what we'll be covering today. So as I said, my name is Ravi Raghunath. This is my contact details. Feel free to take it down. My cell number is there as well. You can reach me at any time you need. Doesn't matter what time of the night because I'm usually up very late. So you can feel free. I don't have a particular working time, so you can reach out to me at any time, and you can reach me on WhatsApp, or you could reach me just via normal calls as well. This is also my email address. You may find out it's much faster. If you call me, you'll get a much faster response as well. Okay. So please take a note of my email address. Apart from that, let's look at what we'll be covering in today's session. So today's session should run roughly about an hour and 10 minutes or so. We look at why study a BSc in Information Technology, why study with the University of Bedfordshire because there are options available to you, and why study with CTS College. What are the features of the program, and how is this program going to fit into my busy lifestyle? Because I am working and I have kids, etc. So I want to know how much time will be required to study. What am I going to learn? What kind of support will I get when I'm starting this program or when I'm enrolled in the program? Where will I graduate? Am I eligible to study? What are the entry requirements? How much will it cost? And when can I start? And also we have a special offer available for you guys today as well. Okay, so let's get into the thick of things. So why study the BSc? If it's all right with you guys, anyone in particular want to share why they are choosing to, or why they're considering studying the BSc in Information Technology? Any reason? What you're hoping to get at the end of it? Come on, guys. Brandon?
Okay, good morning, guys. So I'm Brandon. Okay, so basically, I would have started this entire program with SPCS in 2017. So I started at the diploma level, and I was supposed to go all the way up to the bachelor's level. I completely completed the level 5 HND diploma. That was in 2019. And I was supposed to move on to the bachelor's degree, but with COVID and gate being cut and everything, SPCS increased their prices. And then with COVID, I just took a break from there on until now. So I was referred to CTS by a friend who did the program, and I took a look at it. And I said, okay, looked feasible. So here I am today.
No problem. Thanks a lot. And feel free to ask any questions as you go along as well, right? So your intent is to complete your bachelor's degree because you already have your H&D as well. Are you currently working in IT?
I'm with Flow.
No problem. So the intention is hopefully by the end of your degree, you'll either get a promotion or maybe a change in job or better paying job, etc., depending.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Okay, cool. Anybody else? Anybody wants to quickly share why they're considering doing the program? No problem. So here's what throughout our years of doing information sessions, we've been constantly asking students, why are you studying the BSc, or why are you studying in general, right? And this is what most students tend to say, and maybe you might identify with some of these. So some of the reasons given included, well, promotion. So they're studying with the intention that at the end of their studies, they'll be able to get a promotion. Some of them are looking at a career change because they're not working in IT and the intention is to move into IT, but having an IT qualification will definitely help. And what better than an IT degree? So some of the students are already they're already employed in the IT field and they're looking for an increase in salary. And one of the things to do that is by getting better qualified or more qualified. Additionally, some students are looking at starting or growing their own business. I've had students who already own a company, right? It's an IT-based company, but they're looking at getting a qualification within the field as well. And some are doing it so that they can eventually start their own business as well. Some for personal achievement because it's something they always wanted to do. In fact, I've had a gentleman who was in his 60s who enrolled in the bachelor's of IT degree because it was something he always wanted to do. He's watched his kids graduate from university with bachelor's and master's, and he felt that it was time that he did this as well because he always wanted to do so, and he did it for personal achievement because he was a retired individual. some for the practical experience in IT, and some to enhance their employability. So those are some of the various reasons people have chosen to study. So what I want to do though is liaising with a lot of parents and students, right? And I'm thanking you guys as well for posting in the chat as well, some of the reasons as well, right? So some of the reasons you have is getting a certification because I've done a class in the past, but I haven't gotten my certificate. So hoping to get one now. So you're looking at the certification, which eventually would lead to improve employability and to acquire new skills and knowledge for my betterment. And definitely because we all want to improve what we're doing as well. And I also want you to share with you as well, guys, while it is really good to get better qualified as well, what I want to encourage you to do is to use your skills that you've learned in the program, not just to get a job, but to do better what you're currently doing. So you use those skills to do a better job, right? Because it's unfortunately a lot of people simply use their qualification to get promotion, but not necessarily to work harder, to work smarter, to enhance the systems that are available, because throughout your studies, you'll be learning about these. But many students study it, but they don't look at applying it. And I want to encourage you guys to go out there and make a difference. When you study, use what you've learned to improve your employment, your home, your workplace, etc., your community as well, because otherwise, you know, we're just doing it purely for ourselves only, which is not a bad start, but it's good to go beyond yourself eventually. Okay. All right. So thank you. Now, what I want to look at as well is in terms of seeing your degree and seeing your studies as an investment rather than simply a cost. Too many times I've heard people talk about the cost of studies, and I agree, there is a cost to studying, but many times they don't look at the investment in itself. The same way you have studied before to get to this point, that studying was really, there's a reason why you would have done it. And that study is an investment. And I could share with you today, if I were to give my own personal testimony, my studies has really paved the way for me in terms of my job, my careers, etc. And I want to encourage you guys as well that, you know, while academics are important, it's not everything, but it really makes a difference as well. So I want to encourage you guys as well. So here's an example of an investment chart. Now, what we're looking at here is the salary range for OJT employees. So if you are employed with OJT as a CSEC student with your CXC qualification, your monthly salary will be $3,025 per month. Let's take a bachelor's degree. So rather than looking at all of them, let's look at the same person now with a bachelor's degree. With a bachelor's degree as an OJT employee, you'll get $7,562.50 a month. Now, you may just see this as a difference in salary, but you may not have looked at it from a bigger perspective. And what I want you to do now is just ask a few questions. OJT with CXC versus an OJT with a degree. What is the difference in their monthly income? Can you suggest what their average difference is? Just a ballpark figure. I'm not looking for an exact number, but a rough estimate. Just over what, 4,500 or so, right? So based on that, based on what we're seeing here, the difference that you'd earn per month as an OJT with a bachelor's degree versus OJT with CXC passes is roughly $4,537 per month. Now, the thing is that you are not going to work for 1 month and retire, are you? So in 1 year's time, right, you would have earned how much more? If you multiply that by 12, you'd have gotten 54,450. So in 1 year, this is how much more you would have earned. So in 1 year's time, your qualification would have already paid your as an OJT employee, that difference in salary would have paid off for your degree. Apart from that, again, you're not going to stop working after 1 year. Imagine that you work for roughly 40 years or so. Most people work for 45 years roughly. So if you were to multiply this year now by 40 years, which is, let's say, your working lifetime and you retire after that, how much more would you have earned, assuming the salaries remain fixed and constant? Well, it would be over $2 million more. And guess what? We all know that your salary is not going to remain the same for the rest of your life. It is expected that because of inflation, etc., your salary will also increase. And what we've also found is that the rate at which your salary increase with a bachelor's degree is much higher than the rate at which your salary will increase with just CXC passes. As a result, this difference is expected to project up to $5 million more earning with a bachelor's degree versus earning with CXC. You imagine what $5 million more over your working lifetime would do for you. You are not just going to benefit from it, but your family, your kids, your grandkids, etc. This is generations to come. How many of us have benefited from our parents or grandparents as well success? Well, some of us may have, right? And the reality is that because they have invested and they have paved the way for their future generations, and you can do the same as well, okay? So why study with the University of Bedfordshire? For many of you, you're not familiar with Bedfordshire because there's no team in the English Premier League with Bedfordshire near to it in its name, right? If I told you it was University of Manchester or Liverpool or something like that, makes better sense, right? But in terms of Bedfordshire, just a bit about Bedfordshire, right? They are actually ranked in the top 6% of universities in the world. They won the Queen's University Prize in 2013. They have branches across the country. They have 5 branches in the UK, right? However, their main branch is in Luton, but they have partners in China, the Middle East, Europe, Southeast Asia, and Trinidad and Tobago as well. And they have more than 20,000 students currently studying with them from over 120 different countries, right? And online learning has certainly made a big difference in increasing the numbers as well, right? Apart from that, they're ranked in several different categories, but ranking is just one small part of it. And I would recommend students as well, particularly in Trinidad setting, if ranking may not be one of the things you focus on necessarily, right? So, by the way, for those of you who won't be able to view the full presentation, know that it is recorded. I will put the recording on YouTube later on, and I will share the recording, the link to the YouTube video with you guys, right? Ideally, all of you would have registered for the session as well. So I would have your email addresses, etc., and I will email you the link for the recording after. You should get it around between 2 and 2:30 after the video has been uploaded, etc. Good? All right, so just a bit about CTS College as well. So let's find out a bit about CTS College. So some of you indicated you may have been told about about CTS from a friend or about the program as well. So just want to share with you a bit about CTS College. We are a private tertiary provider. We have over 20 years in the education industry. We are ACTT recognized, and we offer a range of programs. Actually, recently, our programs now encompass from preschool all the way to a master's program, and we're looking at adding a DBA to that list as well. So it's almost like a cradle to the grave sort of qualification, right? And we also, apart from our academics, we also offer a range of professional certification courses as well to complement your academic studies as well. Now, this page is what I call our bragging page. Now, at the same time, I remain very humble through it, but really our lecturers and our students have done really well. And it would be remiss of me not to even mention the success of our students. We've won over 98 AB World Prizes. A World Prize winner is a student who got the highest mark in the world in the program. AB is offered in over 32 different countries and over 200 different schools. So to win a World Prize is a remarkable achievement because you are the top student in the world in that unit. We just won at the December 2020 exam session, we won 2 world prizes, 2 additional world prizes. We were the only school in Trinidad to win world prize at the December session. We have won more world prize than any other school in Trinidad from 2015 to 2020, right? So the results of 2021 in terms of world prize winners have not yet been announced, but we're anticipating we'll continue to win world prizes as well. Okay. Apart from that, we've won 47 university awards with the University of Hertfordshire. We've won awards with ABME as well, and also with AIB, the Australian Institute of Business. We've also won awards with ACTT. Now, these awards are different kind of award. The previous awards were academic awards for students doing really well, but these awards from ACTT, it was in terms of what we do collectively. We won 6 awards for students, excellence in student support services, 3 for excellence for an established quality management system, and 2 for teaching and learning. So we've won numerous awards. Now these awards from ACTT, we are competing with all the other schools in the country. So to win these against the giants like UE, UTT, USC, etc., is really a humbling experience for us. So just a note, we have won more ACTT awards than any other school in the country. That's a really big for us. So good news for us there and for you guys as well, because in the end, you get a benefit as well from some of those, right? The program is online. So the program is fully online, right? And so we will discuss those as well. So a question as well, and in terms of, is it gate approved? So just a note, in 2017, because of the falling oil price, the government had to make a decision about reducing the spend, because they had to make cuts in terms of spending, right? National spending. And what they did was they cut gate funding. So they cut gate funding from all international programs, and they cut gate funding from all the private registered institutions. So us, SBCS, SAMS, all of those, we are not gate funded as well. But what we do is, because of that, we have really reduced our pricing and offered additional support as well. Apart from that, I'll also share with you too, we have payment plans and stuff like that available. So that's the answer question is it gate approved? Now, please note, you can get gate funding at like public institution, UE, UTT, USC, you do have gate funding there. So if pricing is definitely a concern, I would encourage you to consider some of those options because they do have gate funding. However, please know that gate also is not, in terms of gate funding, gate has also made the government has made further cutbacks with gate funding as well. So it's not necessary that you'll get 100% tuition funding. You may get 50% only. So you may want to check out those also. The other thing too that you may want to do is when you're looking at a degree, we're going to talk about some of the things you want to consider as well. So and gate funding is certainly one of the things to factor in, right? And the program is 100% online. So all the classes are online, which we'll also discuss as we go through the program as well. So CTS College has over 15 years of delivering a bachelor's program. In terms of the pass rate, we have an 85% pass rate. In fact, that pass rate has just increased. It's closer now to 90%, right? We've had over 2,000 applicants. We've had over 1,700 graduates with over 500 students graduating with first class honors. And our graduates are employed in various sectors in the various industries as well. Additionally, right, we're going to look at features of the BSc program. Now, previously, CTS was offering a BSc with the University of Hertfordshire. But what we wanted to do with the University of Hertfordshire, we wanted to offer all 3 years of the degree. Unfortunately, we couldn't come up to an agreed pricing because the university pricing was extremely high, and it would have made us probably the second highest program or possibly the highest program in Trinidad, right, because of the pricing. So given that's the case, we respectfully agree that, look, we couldn't continue because the fact is that the overall price offering year 1, year 2, and year 3 would have been roughly around $75,000 or so, which would have been exorbitant. So we decided to look at other options. Now, in terms of looking at other options now, what we did was we were armed with a lot of knowledge and experience having worked with Hertfordshire before. So what we did, we found out from students what it is they wanted. And these are some of the things students wanted. So this basically was our wish list when we started looking for a new program. The program must be fully accredited. Why? Because students are looking at migrating. Quite a lot of students are looking at migrating to Canada or America, and they wanted a program that was recognized in those countries, right? Or even in other countries as well. And therefore, we look for a program that must be internationally recognized. 2, it must be globally accessible. I've had students who are traveling because of work or because of distance. They wanted to be able to have all the materials online, and therefore we needed a program that was globally accessible. And this program has an online learning environment where all the information is available online. So it's globally accessible. All your assignments are submitted online. So it had to fit the globally accessible part. From an employer perspective, what does employer want? So apart from being an accredited program, employers found that often students were too theoretical and they could not apply the knowledge when they came to work. So they wanted a program that was extremely practical, where you were constantly solving problems. So in looking for a new IT degree, we looked for one that had a lot of practical skills, where you build programs, you develop solutions, that sort of thing. So you were constantly solving problems so that when you go to work, you can actually solve problems easily at work as well. A lot of our students enrolling in the program would have done programs elsewhere as well, or they are working and they want to get their degree as quickly as possible. Because many of my students are working, they don't want to do a degree that takes 5 years to complete. They want to complete their degree. In fact, if they could get their degree tomorrow, they'll take it, right? So they wanted an accelerated program. So we had to look for programs that were not drawn out, but that could be completed in the shortest possible time. And of course, we are very much in a price sensitive country. So we wanted a program that was extremely affordable. We recognized that gate funding was going to be removed as well. So we needed a program that would have been able to, even though students had to pay for it, was very much affordable in comparison to other programs. So armed with these in mind and some other stuff as well, we started looking at programs. We in fact looked at about 15 different programs from different universities. And in the end, we decided to partner with the University of Bedfordshire because they were the only one that was able to achieve all of the things we wanted on the wish list. There were others that were higher in different things, but overall they couldn't deliver on all of these. And the one that was able to deliver on all of these was the program that we went with, which was the University of Bedfordshire's program. So just a bit, the University of Bedfordshire program is accredited in the UK by the Quality Assurance Agency, QAA. Now, QAA is an independent body and they would advise the government on applications for degree awarding powers. You just cannot call yourself a university. To be called a university, you have to be granted that, right, by the governing body, by the relevant authorities, and QA is one of the bodies that would, QA is the body that will basically do the recognition and then advise the government agency, and so the University of Bedfordshire is recognized by QA and they are subject to QA reviews. So you don't just become a university and remain a university. You have to keep going through quality assurance, right, to ensure that you constantly achieve certain standards. Apart from that, the University of Bedfordshire is recognized by ACTT in Trinidad. Now, please note, in order to deliver their programs in Trinidad, they needed to be recognized and therefore they are ACTT recognized in Trinidad. Apart from that, as part of their quality process, all of the things we do have to go through a quality approval process. All our marketing promotion must be approved by the university. Admissions, we cannot accept you. The university is the one who accepts you. We could only advise you, collate your information, submit it to the university, and they will determine if you are accepted or not. Everyone gets accepted because of the way the program is structured. And that is one of the things we did as well, flexible entry requirements as well. So in terms of those, admission is sorted out by the university. They would advise us back, and then we inform you as well in terms of where you're able to start. All our lecturers must be approved by the university. Apart from that, all our teaching material is provided by the university. Of course, we could customize and tailor it, but they will provide the initial information. All assessments are managed by the university, and they also do annual audits as well as continuous feedback and reviews as well. In fact, last week we had a monitoring, or last week or the week before, we had a monitoring visit from a link tutor meeting with the university with a couple of student reps as well, and it was to discuss the program. So it's part of what they do to ensure quality throughout the program. Another one of the things we said is that the program is globally accessible. The university has students from all over the country, all over the world, sorry, and they have partners all across the globe. Apart from that, in order to make their programs accessible, they created an online learning environment called Brio. So Brio is the university's online learning environment, and it's available 24/7. You will have a username and password to log into Brio, and in Brio, you will get all your lecture notes. You will submit all your assignments in Brio as well. Right. Apart from that, there's a lot of support available on Brio in terms of academic writing and other stuff too. Apart from that, the university has a student information desk that's available 24/7 online to persons anywhere in the world. So that's a bit about the online part of it. All your classes, now please note, apart from that, what CTS has also done, we also created what you call shared drives. It's a Google Share Drive. So the Google Share Drive has all of the information from Brio. Apart from that, all our class recording, every week we have classes, the recording of the classes are placed on our Share Drive as well. So if you miss a class, you have access to the recording of the class. The classes are online, it's held via Zoom as well. And apart from that, we also have on our shared drive like past assignments on students. So you could actually see samples of what the students who would have gotten the highest as well, right? So you have those so that you could use. It's not about plagiarizing, but at least you can see an example of what students did in the past to achieve a very high score, etc. So all of those are available on our share drive along with our lecture notes as well. So you have access to Brio, and CTS also gives you access to a share drive that you have. And typically I give you access to the share drives for all the levels. So even though you might be in the bridging or level 4 or level 5 or level 6, whichever level you are, you can actually get access to the material for all the different levels. Okay, that's on our share drive. But on Brio, you would only have access to the units you are doing. Okay. Now, In terms of the program is practical, and throughout the program, you're going to solve real IT challenges. You're going to get hands-on experience developing IT systems, developing solutions as well to solve business needs as well, okay? You'll also be designing solutions as well to different problems. Apart from that, the program is accelerated. And by accelerated, we mean that you could complete a semester in just 4 months, right? The bridging program could be done in just 4 months, and each level consists of 4 units. So if you're in level 4, level 5, level 6, each of those levels consists of 4 units. The bridging program has only 1 unit. Now, you're doing that 1 unit in 4 months, but in each level, level 4, level 5, level 6, there are 4 units, and you're doing 2 units per semester. So you're doing two subjects or 2 units in 1 semester and 2 units in the next semester. A semester runs for 4 months. So based on that, in 8 months, you could actually complete 1 level. So if in 8 months you complete 1 level, in another 8 months, you complete the next level, and then in another 8 months, you complete your next level. In 24 months, you could complete the program, and 24 months is equal to 2 years. So in 2 years, you could complete the program. Now, please note, how is this different from the university if you were studying at the university in the UK? At the university in the UK, the program runs for 3 years, but I'll explain why it's 3 years versus us being able to do it in 2 years. At the university, what most of their students travel far to get to the university. So what they do, they tend to stay on campus. So many of those students come from different countries. So they come to the UK to study. What happens typically is that they do their first semester, then they do their second semester, and for the summer vacation, those students go back home to their families. Now, that's an important time for both students and their families, because most of those students are not staying with their families. They have left their families to stay on campus. So that third semester, which is 4 months, they would typically go home to their families, or they may get a job or work for the holidays, right? In Trinidad, it's a little different. I don't think any one of you plan to come to Chaguanas to come to school, right? You will be doing all your classes from wherever you are, especially when classes are online. So given that's the case, in Trinidad, there was really no need for students to have to take that extra semester off, right? So I asked the university if they would allow at the end of the 2 semesters, rather than sitting down, doing nothing for a third semester, if they can move on to the next level, and that was granted. So that's why students were able to complete the program in 2 years versus in the UK, they have to do it in 3 years, because every semester, after every 2 semesters, you take a semester off, right? And that is how it worked in the UK. So that's why it's now accelerated. So now we have the most accelerated bachelor's in IT program in Trinidad and Tobago. So that's one of our competitive advantage. And in terms of pricing, we'll talk about pricing later on as well, but we also, just a note as well, we indicated the program is gate funding is no longer applicable, and I explained why, because of the government funding, right, issues. But apart from that, we have payment plans, and we also partner with GMMB to assist students in obtaining loans as well to supplement their studies as well. Now, how is the program structured? So let's take a look at how it's made up. So apart from the bridging program, which I'll discuss with you shortly, level 4 is your starting point. So level 4 is ideal for persons who either you finish A-levels or CAPE, or if you have any work experience. It doesn't matter if your work experience is in IT or not, right? Once you have any work experience, you can get into the program, right? Apart from that, so any work experience, or if you have IT work experience or IT certifications, all of those things can help you. Now, please note, if you don't have A-levels, you don't have any IT experience, but you have general work experience, or you did any other studies as well, it doesn't matter whether it's IT or non-IT, you can use those to get into level 4, which is year 1. After completing level 4, you could move to level 5. But apart from that, you have students who could directly enroll in level 5 as well. Now, who are the people who will directly enroll in level 5? Well, if you had completed a diploma program, a level 4 diploma program in IT, or if you have IT work experience and you have IT certifications, then you could start at level 5 as well, right? So you could start directly at level 5 and bypass level 4, right? And of course, if you pass level 5, you move on to level 6. But note as well that you could start directly at level 6. Who are the people who could start directly at level 6? Well, if you've completed an associate degree in IT from UTT Costart, or well, Costart, Roytech, etc. You can start level 6, or from the US or one of those other countries. Once it's an the IT program, you can start. When I say IT, I mean computing information system management, information system, operating system management. Any of those related fields are all generally considered under the same umbrella, right? Or if you did like the BTech HND, you could start at level 6. Or if you did the level 5 diploma in IT from SAMS, right, the NCC diploma, or you've done the UTT diploma, you can start here. If you did the NESC diploma, you could start at level 6. If you have also done what other programs we haven't mentioned as well, I think those are generally the bulk of the programs students generally come in with, right? But any other program, it will be assessed to determine if you could start directly at level 6. Alternatively as well, right? If you have over 6 years of IT work experience and you have some IT certifications, you may be allowed to start directly at level 6 as well. Okay, so those are the different levels and how you could start directly. So we've kind of covered now the entry requirements for the different level. Now, apart from these, there's also the bridging program. So the question is, well, who should start the bridging program? Now, a lot of students think, well, I don't have experience in IT, so I should start the bridging program, but that's not really the case. Once you're a mature candidate, ideally, if you're like 20 years and over, typically without any experience, you're normally accepted into level 4. The persons who typically will enroll in the bridging program would be persons who are still in secondary school, and we do have a couple of students who are doing the degree in parallel with being in Form 5, right? Or if you've just finished CSEC, you could do the bridging program, right? So typically the people in the bridging program are those who just finished CSEC or who are still writing CSEC. So I have students who are writing CSEC next month and well, this month and next month, and they are the ones who are also starting the bridging program as well. So that's really who the bridging program is for. A lot of students think that, well, I've never did anything in IT, so I need to start at the bridging program, and that's not really true. You can start at level 4. Level 4 is the beginner's level for the degree, okay? So just a note. All right. So in terms of those, this is really progression. Like if you start bridging, you'll move to level 4, level 5, level 6, or you could start at level 4, move to level 5, then level 6, or you could start at level 5, move to level 6, or you could start directly at level 6, right? The higher you start, the earlier you'll be able to finish, right? There are no CSEC subjects required. At no point did I mention any particular CSEC subjects. So you don't even need to have any number of passes to start. You know, you don't need passes necessarily to start the bridging program. And it doesn't matter what you did, what subjects you did, or how many you passed, it won't matter at all, okay? So when you're applying for the bridging program, it's the same as applying for the BSc. It's the same forms, etc. you're filling out, so there's no difference. But what I do, I would generally recommend when you're applying, apply for level 4 and let the university determine if you should start at the bridging program or not, right? So when you're applying, apply for level 4 and let the university decide if you should start at the bridging program rather than you make that decision naturally. Apply for level 4, which is the starting position, and then if you don't qualify, then they will suggest the bridging program for you, right? Of course, if you want to start at level 5 or level 6, then you need to include that in the application form. You need to specify, I want to start at level 5 year 2 or level 6 year 3, as the case may be, okay? All right. So in terms of what you would learn, so just to check as well, there are a couple of questions coming through. Okay, so what would I learn? In terms of the program, these are some of the things you'll cover. In year one would cover more introductory stuff. So as I said, level 4 is year 1. You would look at the introduction to software. You would explore hardware as well. You would also do a course in networking. And here's one of the benefits of level 4. One of the courses you're doing includes networking, and you will have access to Cisco Academy. If you pass that module, right, you will get a Cisco certification, but only for students in level 4. And what Cisco has done as well, they also gave the students access to other Cisco courses. So quite a lot of the students actually use the opportunity, and they got a lot of Cisco qualifications using their Cisco access, right? And they got free access to other courses as well. And so a lot of them got a host of certifications from Cisco because of that access, right? Apart from that, you learn SQL, you learn about databases, and in programming, you're going to learn Java, and you will learn Python as well. And those are two very much in demand programming languages as well. So those are some of the things you'll cover in year 1. In year 2 now, you would also learn programming, you'll learn PHP, but apart from that, you learn more about designing software as well as developing different systems as well. You would also learn a bit on project management as well. And you will learn about designing interface. So you actually have to, now the design is so important as well. So I want to note, as much as coding is really good, designing is really important. So for example, if you're going to build a house, the architect role is to design the house, right? Now, the same way there's an architect who's skilled in design, in the IT field as well, design is a very important role. Have you ever used a website that was poorly designed? It might be functional, but the design is really poor, that it's difficult to use, that you're not really encouraged to use it because it's so poorly designed. Well, given that's the case, design is now an integral part of most IT programs, and you're going to learn how to design beautiful user interfaces, really nicely designed screens and stuff like that. Okay, so that's part of your design aspects of level 5. And in level 6, again, you'll have to build an application. So for the final project, students have to actually build an application and do a thesis to go along with it, a written report to go along with it. This year, the team that we're using is an e-commerce application. So you're going to build an e-commerce application, right? And we had some fantastic e-commerce applications being built by students in this last batch. In fact, the university suggested it was some of the best applications they have seen built by students as well. So kudos to our students and the teachers as well in this last semester. They did a really tremendous job. But apart from that too, right, you would also learn project management. You'll also do more design work as well, right? And that's part of some of the things you will be doing in this final year of the degree. Okay, these are the different units. Now I want to share with you. You may say, well, look, there are only 4 units in each year. That's not really a lot of units. And I would agree with you. That's not a lot of units. But here's what. Most of these units cover 2 different subject areas. So I'll give you an example. If you're doing computer system structure, half of the course covers databases, etc., and half of the course covers networking. Okay. If you're doing introduction, fundamentals of computer studies, 1/2 of the course again covers like computer hardware with logic gates and circuitry and stuff like that, because remember the computer uses binary logic and circuits as well. And the other half of the course, you'll learn about peopleware. Peopleware is in terms of more the softer side of IT, what employers want and the skills that they need and how to equip yourself with those skills, because part of the university program is to get you ready for the world of work, right? So that's an example of like what the courses typically cover as well. So a lot of times, even though you might see 4 units, it covers a broad range of skills. Now, one of the benefits of just having 4 units is the following. Because you have to pay tuition for each unit, the fewer units you have, the less tuition fees you have to pay, which is one of the reasons why it made the program attractive. Fewer units, lower your cost, right? So that's one of the key advantage. Notice that each unit is 30 credits. If you did the bridging program, it's 30 credits. And level 4, it's 4 units, which is roughly 120 credits. Level 5, 120 credits. And level 6 is 120 credits. Good. So that's the different credits you have for the different levels. Each level 120 credits. So if you started from level 4 and work your way up, you'll get 360 credits in total. Okay, and that's required for graduating as well. Now, how can I fit this bachelor's program into my busy lifestyle? For many of you, you're busy and, so let's talk a bit about it. Well, first of all, there are 3 intake periods, 1 in February, 1 in June, 1 in October. Now, please note the February and October intake sometimes might start late January or like the February intake might start late January or early February. And the October intake might start late September or early October, right? And of course, well, the June intake this time is starting in June, okay? So you have 3 intake periods for the year, and each intake runs for roughly 4 months. Okay, so every 4 months a new intake starts. Apart from that, now let's look at how each unit is structured. Each unit typically, and I say typically because we may change as we go along depending on the nature of the subject, right? So each unit typically has a 1 2-hour class for the week. So each subject usually has 1 2-hour class for the week. The classes are typically on a Saturday, but not all the time, because sometimes what I've learned is that to get the best teacher, they may not always be available on a Saturday. And I prefer get the best teacher rather than simply get a teacher for the Saturday. Apart from that, right, each unit has typically 2 to 3 assessments. Most units have 2 assessments or 2 assignments, as the case may be. A semester typically runs for 15 weeks or so. And at the end of the semester, you usually have like a 2-week break before the next semester starts, right? So this is typically how it's run. Now, I'll give you an example of a timetable, and I'll talk to you about some of the changes as well. So this coming semester, the bridging students have one class, 8 to 10 on a Saturday. If you're in level 4, notice you have this one subject has, let me just use the pointer to annotate. Computing system structure, notice you have 2 classes for it. And the reason I split it into 2 classes is because one part is focusing on databases, one part is networking. So what I did was I have a database specialist focusing on database, and I have a networking engineer focusing on networking. So the guy who's teaching networking, he has actually written several books on networking as well. So you're going to have someone, a writer. He's written many books on networking. He's a very young guy. He's achieved a lot for his young age as well. So he'll be teaching you networking. So networking is Wednesdays, 6:30 to 8:30, but the database side is 8 to 10. Now, please note, you would not necessarily have classes every Saturday. Most Saturdays you will have classes, but what we'll do, once you've covered the stuff, once you've covered the material, you will have breaks in between as well to get you to focus on your assignments as well, okay? So although your classes are on Saturdays 8 to 10 for this class, the truth is you'll also have breaks in between. Your principles of programming, the lecturer for this class is Mr. Channan Sudama. To me, he's one of the best in programming. Right? If you've been to UTT, he was a lecturer there, and he's a really excellent lecturer as well. He's worked with me in the past, but because of his availability, he's not available on the Saturday. So he's doing the class on a Tuesday from 6:30 to 8:30. The reason why I shifted the class from Saturday to Tuesday is because it was critical that I got a really good teacher, because at the end of it, right, it's really important that you understand what you're being taught so that you can do the assignments and do it well. Right? Because those skills is what you need to get you jobs and stuff like that. Okay. So please note, if you're in level 4, this is your timetable. So you have 3 classes here, right? But not every week you'll have all 3 classes, but you will be advised when you don't have a class, simply because if you've covered enough material, you'll have time to work on assignments and stuff. Okay. Apart from that, for level 5, you have 2 classes, both on Saturdays, one from 10:15 to 12:15 and 12:45 to 2:45. So these are your 2 classes to level 5. If you are in level 6 and you're now starting, then you'll have 2 classes on a Saturday, 8 to 10 and 10:30 to 12:30, right? If you are continuing student, then if you're in your second semester, then your second semester, you'll have 1 on Saturday, and the undergraduate project is split into 2. The programming is done on a Wednesday, and the assignments is done on a Monday. Now, please note, one of the reasons why I told you all that for the students who did the undergraduate project, they delivered some of the best applications. Well, one of the things we did differently for that batch was the following. When the students started in their first semester, what I asked them to do, I asked them to sit in this programming class here. So even though really this programming class is really in your second semester, right? I asked these students who are doing their first semester to sit in that programming class and start building their application from term 1. So rather than wait until semester 2 starts to now start learning coding, start from semester 1. So even though you're not going to be assessed for it in semester 1, you're building your application. And by so doing, the students were able to do the course in semester 1 and repeat it again in semester 2, and where they were able to now add on so many additional features to the application. And that's one of the main things. And you're not paying anything additional. So don't worry, you're not going to be charged for attending the class. I want you to attend the class because it is to enhance your skills. And the better you are, the better it reflects on our institution as well, right? And when you go out there and you work and you do well, it impacts on all the graduates from the programs, right? So remember, when you go out there and you don't perform well, the whole program gets tarnished and the school gets tarnished. But if you go there and you are you do an exemplary job, then the school and other students in the program gets kudos as well. And it helps them to get job, because many times I've had employers say, hey, Ravia, one of your students worked with me one, they did a really good job and they told me to liaise with you, and I'm liaising with you because I want some more students as well to work with us, right? And I've also had this case where an employer say, yeah, but now this student didn't cut it at all. What were they taught as well in this program, right? So the truth is that even though you would be taught the skills, you may choose to not do anything different at all and just continue as usual, and know that you're also putting both the school and other students in jeopardy as well, right? So for students who are working during the week and cannot see the live session, yes, I did mention as well, all the classes are recorded and all the recording are going to be placed on the shared drive. So you would have access to it. I'll show you the shared drive as well later on. So all classes are recorded and provided to the students. So you will have access to those, right? And one of the things we did as well, we started the class late in the evening. So the evening classes, notice, are 6:30 to 8:30, because by then most people ideally should be home. I'm saying most people because even if curfew continues at 9 o'clock, I think people ideally would be home earlier. But again, if you can't make it for whatever reason, the classes are recorded. But I always encourage you to attend the live session. In fact, sometimes I have students who have the session on while they driving home, right? Of course, I tell them I don't need them typing and stuff like that, but they can listen on the session while they're heading home as well, driving in their vehicle, because it's on Zoom. So you have Zoom, you can get on your phone as well. You can pick up the classes as well, okay? So this is an example timetable. Now, how will I be assessed in this program? As I indicated as well, now the program is assessed via many ways. You have coursework, group assignments, portfolios, essays, etc. So different units are assessed differently. In many cases, you'll have a coursework, which is an assignment. So you will know what your assignment is weeks ahead, right? So often you have like 5 weeks, 6 weeks, etc., where you already know what the assignment is. In some cases, you already know what the assignment is at the very beginning of the semester, right? Some assignments may be group assignments, and very few do, and many of them are individual assignments, right? You may have to develop a portfolio, but portfolio work is mainly in level 4, where you have to compile multiple things to submit. You may have an essay, but essay is mainly at level 4, right? You may have presentations, and presentations, while a lot of students try to shy away from presentations, I think presentations are wonderful because it gives students now the ability to improve on their public speaking, their presentation skills, because many times you have to pitch to people in your company. You may have to pitch to management as well, an idea, and the presentations help you in improving your pitch, right? So it helps you to develop presentation to pitch what it is you've done, your idea, etc. So it gives you now the additional confidence as well to speak to people as well, because it's important now that you represent yourself and represent yourself well, because you are your own brand as well. Now, how do I pass a unit and progress? Well, the overall pass mark is 40%. So what they do, they normally add up all the marks in all your assignments. And once your total mark is 40 or more, then you pass the unit. So what happens now? How do I progress now from one level to the other? Well, the rule of thumb is that if to progress, once you pass all your units, you will progress. But if you pass 3 out of the 4 units and you fail the 4th unit, but you got 35 or more, out of 100, so you got 35 or more, they will normally allow you to progress, right? In rare instances, a student may not progress. Typically, out of 100 students, we might have 1 student who doesn't progress, and that's because they didn't submit any assignments, right? Okay. If Saturday classes are a problem, is there a workaround? The Saturday classes, as I said, the classes are specific to the timetable, but the classes are recorded. So if you cannot attend the class on a Saturday, you can view the recording. The program is not gate approved, right? We did mention that earlier on, and as indicated as well, what happens is that in 2017, the government removed gate funding from all the registered institutions. So all private institutions typically got, we have no gate funding, and all international programs are no longer gate funded as well. But I did indicate we have like payment plans and stuff like that, right? So just to answer questions in the chat for persons who may have joined in late. Now, what if you fail a module? So if you fail a module, what you do is you don't automatically fail, you get a second chance. And that second chance is called a referral. So once you fail a unit, right, you are given a referral. A referral is simply another chance to do. In some cases, you may have a new assignment to do. In some cases, you have to redo or improve the assignment you submitted to get a passing score. Once you pass the referral, then you pass the unit, but your mark, of course, is capped at 40, because remember, you would have failed and they give you the second chance, so you get your mark is capped at 40. If, however, you fail the referral or you didn't submit, you automatically fail, then you will have to pay to repeat the unit. Good? All right. Now, what about graduating? What are the class of degrees? Well, in terms of the class of degrees, you can graduate with a first class honors, upper second class honors, or third class honors, or a pass, right? How is it calculated? Well, a first class honors is for persons whose average is 70 or more. Upper second is where your average is in the 60s. Lower second is if it's in the 50s, and third class honors is in the 40s, right? Well, third class honors is the lowest class of honors you could get because your average is in the 40s there. Of course, to pass, you must get 40 or more, right? Now, how is your class of your average or your class of honors calculated? If you enter directly in the final year, your project, the undergraduate project, is mandatory. So they use the undergraduate project and your two other best marks and define the average of those. And if it's 70 or more, you get first class, etc. If you started in year 1 or year 2, then what they do, your year 1 marks don't count, but your year 2 marks is the averages worked out. They use your best 90 credits, meaning your best 3 marks in year 2. And then they use your best 3 marks in year 3, but your project is mandatory in year 3, right? So they take the project and your best other 2 marks. And what they do, the final year scores are weighted as twice as much as your year 2 scores. Good. And your average calculated and your class of degrees determined. Most students so far have been graduating with first class honors, right? What support is available now? Now, in terms of the support, our support, CTS College has won numerous awards for supporters. So support is where we work really hard at, right? So for example, for this information session, it's a form of support because we don't want you just signing up for a degree where you read a little bit about it online and then you sign up. Ideally, we want you to know a lot about the program. So that is why we host the information session. The information session is really to get you to have all the information possible so that when you sign up, you're making a deliberate choice. You're not just, well, I'm just rushing and I'm making a choice. We want you to have all the information before you make a choice. But apart from the information session, we will guide you throughout the process. You have my cell number. You could call me anytime. You have access to basically like a concierge service, if you want to call it that. So someone there for you at any time, right? You just call with them and follow up and get the answers that you need. You need letters and stuff, you email us, WhatsApp us, we will arrange letters and stuff for you. We will guide you through the application process. We will submit your stuff to the university. When you start, we provide all the classes, all your lecture notes are available. We also, when you have assignments, we provide additional tutorial support for assignments as well. We provide a lot of support to help you with the assignment. We don't do the assignment for you, but we help you so much that at the end, it makes it a lot easier, right? Apart from that as well, what we do as well, we do academic writing sessions to help you with Harvard referencing and those things. Like even we create WhatsApp groups. So you're part of the WhatsApp group so that you're constantly informed. After classes as well, you are emailed your lecture notes. Apart from the lecture notes being on the shared drive, you are given an email with your lecture notes with a link to the recording, etc. So you get those weekly after each class. You get those, so you're constantly being reminded. With the WhatsApp group as well, you have students supporting you as well as your program manager supporting you. Your lecturers are also on the WhatsApp group. So if you ask questions, there's a community of people there to assist and support you as well. And the thing is that the reality is that school has always played a social role as well. And the WhatsApp group really helps to add a level of the human element, the social element, because the truth is you're not physically seeing your classmates. Previously, you would know your friends. Your best friends for life are often not just people in your neighborhood, but people in your classroom. And the thing is that now that classes are virtual, the WhatsApp group is really helping where students can actually have a voice, communicate with each other, get to know each other a lot better as well. So those are some of the things that we've been doing to really help to foster that, students support as well. Apart from that, you have the shared drive with all the materials. You have the online student support on Brio as well. You have access to online journals. So you have access to online library with materials as well, with Emerald journals and stuff like that you could use as well to assist you with assignments. What other material are available on the shared drive? Any question there, Nicholas? Is there a question? All right, okay, cool. All right, so apart from that, we have induction. So every semester we have an induction program where students are given, we guide you in Harvard referencing. We also guide you in the university's policies and rules, because many students simply believe as well, they're not aware that what it is to sign up with a university. So they often think, well, I'm just going to sign up with a university. But the reality is that the university has a lot of rules and regulations. So they often think, well, I'm just going to sign up with a university. But the reality is that the university has a lot of rules and regulations. So they often think, well, I'm just going to sign up with a university. I'll sign up, but now I don't want to do it anymore. But they've already signed and submitted their form and they don't recognize that, look, once you do, you know, the commitment that you're making as well. So it's really important that you attend all these induction sessions, because this is almost like a marriage, because you are making somewhat of a commitment as well. So we want you to understand what is your role in this commitment. In order for it to succeed, we have a very big part to play, but you also have a really big part to play as well in your own success. Okay, so induction is to consider Harvard referencing, academic writing, and other stuff as well, is what we will cover also. Okay. Can the referrals be done the same semester that you fail the exam? The results would only be available after the semester has been completed. So you would only know your results at the end of the semester. So you cannot do the referral in the same semester, because the semester would have been completed for you to get your final results. But what you do in the next semester, that's when you typically have to do the referral. So when one semester has ended and the results, the exam board meets at the end of the semester, they would meet about 3 to 4 weeks after the semester has ended to finalize results. And then if you've gotten a referral, then you'll be advised and you'll have some time to complete it. So the referral is done in the next semester, not in the same semester. Cool? Okay. So we have the induction session, which will include all of these different things as well. In terms of our lectures, we have cutting edge lecturers who practice what they teach. So often, for example, like your teacher with networking, he's in the networking and cybersecurity field. He writes books on networking as well, and he's a practitioner also. Your lecturer who's teaching API as well, again, that's what he does. He develops application as well, right? And so for each of your lecturers, they teach what they do, right? So given that's the case, then you have lecturers who are practitioners and not just academics only, okay? All right. Also, we have student voice. Now, please note, apart from having the WhatsApp group and having representation as well, I want you to know that each of you have a voice. You don't have to go through any particular protocol to share your point of view. If each of you have my number, you can call me anytime you're dissatisfied about something, tell me. A lot of students are afraid to be open and candid about their opinions. And I want you to recognize that you have a voice. And for CTS, we are constantly trying to improve what we do. And while it's really good getting the good news and the feedback, nice feedback from students, but we also want to hear where we're falling short, where we could improve, right? Because we are not perfect and we are a learning organization. So we want to learn. So if there's something we're not doing well, tell us. Don't be afraid to tell us. Don't be bashful as well, because we want to hear the truth, because that is how we are going to improve. So don't be afraid to come and tell us, hey, Ravi, this is the case here as well. And by the way, please call me Ravi. You don't have to call me Sir or Mr. Raghunath, etc. You're not disrespecting me if you do. Call me Ravi. I prefer if you call me Ravi as well. Okay. So this is a bit on the student support. Now, by the way, I asked one of my students to share her experience as well. Please note, it wasn't like any collusion to tell her what I wanted to say. I wanted her to be truthful and honest. In fact, I told her, if you're not going to be honest about your experience, then, and you're coming there just to big up CTS, that's not what I want. I wanted, because at the end of it, you're going to hear my voice, but I prefer you hear from a student. I just wanted to be sure if she's also in another session this morning, so she'll be joining us. Abby, are you here by chance?
Yeah, I jumped across. I did jump across.
Thank you. So guys, I'm going to ask Abby as well to take over the mic for about 3 minutes to share her experience with you. And I want you to also feel free to ask Abby as well any questions, and I ask Abby to be as honest as possible as well in giving her answers. Cool. Thanks a lot. So Abby, go right ahead.
Thanks, Ravi. Hi, guys. I know you've been listening to Ravi all morning, and he really is entertaining. I must say, Ravi, you kept me interested for the short time I was there. So, guys, I'm just going to say to you why I chose IT, why I eventually chose CTSL, and why I know that each one of you have made the best choice actually this morning. So for me, IT last year came about when I was looking at my Harvard Business Review. I was looking at Forbes, seeing what's up there. If it is you need to upskill yourself, they've given 5 skills that you need that job seekers are looking for, but IT and cyber security, it's like at number 1. Second is video and, audio stuff and foreign languages and all that, but you're already ahead of the game. You chose the right subject. IT and cybersecurity is the way to go in any area. So everybody, I'm sure on this call, there's a tectonic shift with society, business, with the whole virtual, so again, all these things Sorry, that's another meeting. Let me just click off something here. Right. So guys, I'm just saying you all did the right choice because of what the world is doing currently. Now, why I chose CTSL, I wanted to finish this subject pretty quickly. I like to commit to something, get it done. So those of you who are on the accelerated program, kudos. I really hope that those who may not be looking at it, that you definitely shift it because it will really help you. And let me think what else I would have done along the way. Because yes, that was the key thing, the accelerated program. Everything else Ravi would have noted today is also a contributing factor. But for me, I just wanted to get this upskill quickly because it helps with your job. The other thing I think I should say quickly, there's a little secret, guys, and I'll tell you it right now. Every time you're given an assignment and every time you know exactly what it is about, and Ravi or Karen or whoever is your teacher, they tell you, well, here's the structure. As soon as you get that structure, put down some points. It doesn't have to be like anything major. I know you will have to give, like, a real formal report at the end of the day, but trust me on this secret. The two things, and I think Ravi hinged on it initially, which is start your app, build your app early. That sitting in that extra the year before, sorry, not the year before, the semester before sitting in. Please, guys, remember me with these two things, if nothing else. Sit in that session, that semester just before, to build your app early. And the other secret is, as soon as you have the structure of your assignment, start marking down some points. Hopefully, I feel I took a minute. Did I take a minute?
Go ahead, Abby.
Because for me, I know persons, after you're listening, I don't want you guys to be bored with me, saying anything to, but for me, CTSL, the main thing was that accelerated program. The payment plan was fantastic as well, but the accelerated program was the key thing because you need to get this upskill now. The IT trend in jobs is AI, cybersecurity. You even have project management inside of there. You have software development and cloud computing. This is like the top worldwide. So this institution will be covering each one of these. And one more thing, group assignments. Now, the top skills that Forbes is indicating for everyone to learn for 2020 and beyond. And we are already in 2021. Complex problem solving, critical thinking, negotiation is a key thing. Once you keep practicing these things, your group assignments would be easy. Trust me, learn the skill of negotiation. You'll be really good. So guys, I hope I didn't rush through this. Forgive me, I really was on another meeting, but I had to come in and make sure and tell the new students these things. Does anyone have any questions they want to ask me quickly? Oh, good question. Yes, I started at level 4. Yeah, and I am glad I did. My background is not fully IT, just more top level systems. So it was really good to get that level 4 grounding before I went across. Thanks, Kevin. Anyone else?
Yes, I have one question. The job market with this degree, is it highly in demand?
Yes, I would say internationally. So you see, if it's one thing, guys, look for jobs like there's Indeed.com. There and I know we have Caribbean jobs, but you need to step out of only Caribbean jobs. Look internationally. The market of the world it's now more accessible. So try to look at all those different websites now when it comes to job opportunities, okay? Because a lot of persons, it's now, you would see that the requirement is remote. So you are working from home, right? Sorry, let me just check if there, did I answer your question properly, Sullivan? Is it Jonathan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has Indeed.com. It also has oil and gas research. It has a few, but trust me, as soon as you click, if you visit some of them enough, others will come up for you in your search. Well, I mean, I know I'm dealing with IT persons here, so yeah, you'll get the similar websites to look at. Any other questions, guys? Right. So
Abby,
Ravi, I think I'm good.
I want to say a big thank you as well for coming out and speaking to students as well. And guys, every information session, I'll ask a different student as well to share their testimony as well. And feel free to ask questions as well. So I guess even when you start, if you have additional questions, feel free to ask me also. Abby, thank you very
Oh,
much.
let me, sorry,
Go
Ravi,
ahead.
just now,
Go ahead.
so Adrian had a question. So Adrian, let me tell you something. I have my MBA already. So, but I don't, my background is not, my MBA is in business. So I am not, my background wasn't IT, as I said, it was systems, but I decided to do it at this level, obviously, because this is what the world needs now, and it's going to assist me with, you know, being marketable in the future. I hope I got you there, Adrian. Yeah.
And I'll take the other questions on like
Payment plan. Yeah.
payment
Yeah.
plans and stuff. And in
Yeah.
terms of certs as well, any IT certs is generally very good as well. But like depending on
Exactly.
the area, if you want to specialize in like cybersecurity, then you'll do certs along that line or networking. My general recommendation is that if you're looking at getting into the IT field, I would encourage you to do a broad range of certification, because at the end you're looking for jobs. Because you may think that networking is what you really like, and when you start doing it, you may realize maybe it's not all that you thought it would be, or you might get a job in another area that is better than what you wanted to do as well. So you may have some of those, and at least those are my experience, that I had my eyes set on something and I got something else to do, and while doing it I realized, hey, I really like this and it's much better than I thought it would be. So in the end I made that my prime, you know, goal sort of thing as well. So always be open-minded and always be on the lookout as well for opportunities. So let's continue as well with our presentation.
I may be jumping off now, Ravs.
No problem. Thank you again, Abby.
Yeah. Have a good
right.
one, guys.
Thank you.
Best choice you've made in a long while, I would say. I don't mean it to offend. Later. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thanks again. Okay, so guys, maybe in the future as well, one of you will be sharing as well your experience as well and your testimony. Okay, so just a bit in terms of the resources as well. So to do this course, you would need internet access because you are doing it basically online. So you would need to have a good internet access, as well as you would also need access to a laptop. And why would I recommend a laptop? Because your phone might be good for just viewing a class, but if you have to do programming and stuff, you would need, you know, a laptop or a desktop or something like that. So I would encourage you to have access to a laptop for the program. Apart from that too, I want to encourage students that use online shared drive. Please, when you're storing, store your file on an online location so that you can access it anywhere. Too often, I still get students who say the computer crashed, etc., and they lost everything. But if you store your information online, you would not have any of those problems. Okay, so please, as an encouragement, learn how to store your stuff online. If you need help, we are here to help you how to do that also. Good. All right. Where would I graduate? You can graduate both in the UK as well as Trinidad. Naturally, if you're going to graduate in the UK, then you will need to put your own ticket and accommodation in the UK, right? And in Trinidad, we usually host our graduation ceremony at the Hyatt Regency. Because of the COVID pandemic, we're not too sure what's going to happen quite yet, but graduation is typically in December, right? So that's a pending item right now based on the whole issue with COVID. Now, how do I qualify? Now, early on, I went through the entry requirements for each of the levels, right? So I'm not going to go through the entry requirements again because we did spend some time on it. But what I will do as well, when you are completing the form, I will review all your stuff and guide you as well. And if not, if you're still not sure, you could call me, we could have a discussion and I could guide you in terms of, you know, which level to start. I'll reiterate, my cell number is 7771294. But if you ever got an email from me, whether it's a reminder about this information session, you will see my cell number at the bottom of the email as well. So you should have access to it. Now, please note as well, guys, on the message chat, I did post something. There's a survey that I wanted you to complete if you don't mind. So in the chat, I posted a survey. It only takes about a couple of seconds to fill out the survey. Ideally, you only need to choose one item from the survey as well, right? We just want to find out, how did you hear about us? So if you don't mind clicking the link on the survey and just choosing the relevant item, telling us how you found out about us, because what we're trying to do, we are trying to make decisions about our advertising. And we're finding that, you know, we have to make a decision. Should we continue to advertise on radio, on television, on newspaper, on social media? Where are our students hearing here learning about us, and where are they and why are they signing up? Is it through which medium? And therefore, based on that, it helps to drive our advertising as well, to figure out which streams or which media to use as well for advertising. Okay. Now, how do you apply? So ideally for everyone, you'll need to complete the application form. At the end of today's session, I will email you the application form along with the recording from today's session as well. Apart from that, when you're completing the application form, I'll guide you how to complete the form as well. Please submit your resume, because it's not mandatory, but if you do, I could guide you, because a lot of time students may have started a program and they leave it out. If you did an IT program that was incomplete, still included, please, because the thing is, those credits or the fact that you have some qualifications before, even though it's partially completed, is helpful in terms of you starting at a higher level. So whatever qualification you've done, if you could include it in your resume, so that I could use that to probably help you to determine where's the best starting point as well. Okay. I would need a copy of your ID as well. So I need a copy of the application form. Please include your resume if you have one, a copy of your ID or passport. ID or passport, any is okay, but it must not be expired. So make sure you check the expiry date. If it's expired, then please use your driver's permit if you have one then, right? Okay. Now, if you're using work experience only to get in, then maybe a letter from your employer would be helpful, right? And if you have any transcripts or certificates from your previous qualification, that would be helpful. Even if it's unofficial, you could still send it as well. If you did any IT certifications, you could include the IT certifications as well. Good. So based on that, these are the things we would need, right? So you are submitting as much as you can in order to make a more compelling case for you to start. Now, what's going to happen after you apply? So this is the application process. So step one, you submit the signed or the completed application form with supporting documents to study@ctscollege.com, right? When you do, please WhatsApp me to let me know that you submitted, right? When you WhatsApp me, please put your name as well, right? To indicate you submitted the application form to study@CTS College. It's just to allow me to prioritize, because I get lots of email every day. Next, once your application is complete, I'll send it with the supporting evidence to the university for processing. Now, it may take sometimes it take a week or 2 weeks to get your approval. But once you are approved, the university will then send me an offer letter along with some other documents for you to complete. Once I get those, I will notify you both via calling or WhatsApping and emailing you the relevant confirmation that you've been accepted with the forms to complete. Now, you would get an offer letter. So you need to, if you want to start now, you need to complete the offer letter to indicate I am accepting my place, and you need to fill out the registration form that goes with it as well. You send that back to me. When you send it to me, I will then forward it to the university. Well, before I forward it to the university, so it means you've confirmed that you want to start. So what you do next, you make a payment. And once you make a payment, then I will send it to the university. And then, well, of course, you have the induction, and then you have classes. Induction is on the 19th of June, which is next Saturday. Classes start on the 26th. Now, please note, in terms of application, if you are applying now, we may not get a feedback before induction, but I want you to attend induction anyway, right? So once you've applied, you are still invited to attend the induction, etc., right? So please don't say, well, I haven't gotten accepted, I'm not going to attend. You're not committed to anything if you attend induction, but I just don't want you to miss it while you are waiting a confirmation from the university, okay? And classes officially start by the 26th, and by then we will already have all the approvals, etc. Good. All right. So what about costing? We didn't really discuss the fees as yet, right? So this is the cost for the program. So the bridging program is $500 registration fee, $2,000 in tuition, and the university fees is £150. If you're starting from level 4, which is year 1, there are 4 units here. You pay $500 per semester to register. You pay $2,000 per subject, and there are 4 subjects, so that's $8,000, and you pay £150 per subject, and there are 4, so that's £600. So this is the total fee for the level. So the total fee for level 4 is roughly $15,000, but you're not paying it up front. Please note, I'm just giving you the total, but you could pay it, and we'll discuss the different payment plans as well, where you could pay per semester or per month. Level 5, it's 4 subjects as well, $500 per semester to register, $2,250 per subject by 4. So total tuition is $9,000, university fees £600 in total. Level 6 is $500 to register per semester, $2,500 per subject by 4. So it's $10,000 for tuition. University fees is $375 by 4, which is £1,500. Now let's look at the payment plans. So for the payment plan, you could either pay per semester. So if you're paying per semester, this is what you will pay. You're doing 2 subjects at level 4, 5, or 6, right? So this is what your semester fee will be. So it's 500 to register, 4,000 for tuition if you're in level 4, and £300 to the university. If you're in level 5, it's 500 to register, 4,500 for tuition, and £300 to the university. And level 6 is here, right? Now, we also have monthly payment plan. So if you're doing the monthly payment plan, this is how it works. You pay 500 to register, and if you're in bridging program, you pay 500 a month for 4 months. So you pay 500 to register, and you pay 500 per month for 4 months, starting in June. And your university fee is £150. If you're in level 4, you pay 500 at the start, and you pay 1,000 per month for 4 months, starting in June, right? And you pay 300 to the university fee, right? In level 5, you pay 500 to register, you pay 11.25 per month for 4 months, starting in June, and you pay 300 university fee. And for level 6, you pay 500 to register, 12.50 per month for 4 months, starting in June, and again 7.50 for the university fees, right? So this is basically what you'll be paying. If for any reason you're unable to arrange this, you could talk to me and I could determine how best I could be more flexible for you, right? One of the reasons we ask the university fees at the front is because I have to pay the university fees up front. And because I have to pay them, right? So what you're doing is you are not paying the university directly. You are paying me and I have to pay the university, which is why I have these, right? Hence the reason. But I'm willing to work with you if if you're unable to meet any of those. And you will we have a special offer. You will receive up to 1,000 off per level, which is 250 off per subject. So 250 off per unit, right? Special conditions apply. These are the conditions. So to access this special offer of 1,000 off per level, right? Or 250 off per subject, what you do is you must complete your application form by Monday. The reason why I'm using Monday, which is not too far, is simply because we have a deadline, because the original deadline for this semester has gone. And the university gave me an extended deadline, and the extended deadline is on Tuesday. So I need to get all your stuff on Monday so I can package it and send to the university on Tuesday, right? Apart from that, once you've submitted that, you pay your registration fee. If you pay your registration, tuition, university fee by June 19, once you pay your fees in full, you will get the special discount. But that's only if you pay in full. If not, then you could pay monthly. If you pay monthly, of course, you wouldn't get the special offer, right? The special offer is for those paying in full upfront, right? So that's why. So I'm going to show you as well how to complete the application forms and also to answer any additional question as well. Okay, so for the university fees, yes, you will need to get the pounds, right? So you can liaise with your bank to get the pounds, right? So in terms of the registry, there's no link to register. You have forms to fill out to complete the registration, right? So there's no registration link, but what you do is there's a registration form or application form you need to fill out, which I will email to you all right after. But in terms of the university fee, right? The university fee is, you're paying that in pounds, but you're paying it to CTS College. The reason why you're paying it in pounds is because I have to pay the university in pounds. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's a shortage of foreign exchange. So this last semester, I had to pay the university over £72,000 last semester. And because I had to get £72,000, the bank would not give that amount of pounds to me. So what the bank even recommended is create a pound account. It's easier for the student to get £300 or £750. It's easy for you to get that. And when you get that pounds, you deposit it into our pound account. Once I have pounds in the pound account, I can then request now the payment for the university. So that is why we request you get the pounds, because it's difficult for me to get all the pounds to the students. And therefore, because of that, we ask that you pay us in pounds. Okay, so just to note that. Okay, all right. What I want to do as well, I want to show you how to complete the application form as well. By the way, when do you start? Well, we said classes start on June 26th. So the next thing I'm going to do, right, and feel free to ask questions as you go along, but I want to show you how to complete the application form. So I want to just do a small bit of sharing as well, right? So I want to do a new share, which is the application form that you need to complete, right, for the program. Let me just pull up the application form. Just 1 second, please, guys. Okay, so this is the application form. Can you guys see the application form on screen? Can you give me a yes or no if you're seeing the application form?
Yeah.
Yes,
All
I'm
right.
seeing it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. All right. So this here for the signature, you can leave it blank. If you're having a problem putting your signature, you can leave it blank. It's not an issue. What I will do, when you send me your documents, I could pull the signature from your ID or whichever form of identification, whether it's passport or ID, and I will insert it into here if you're having any problem. Here you indicate whether male or female. You put your date of birth here, right? Date, then month, then year. Your first name goes here. Now, quite a few students mix up family name and they put the names of their family members. Family name is your last name. So please note, this is your last name or your surname. If you have middle names, you could include it here where you have first name. You could also put your first name and other names here if you wish, but your last name is family name. So where you see family name, that's your last name. Okay. Previous family name is really for students who may have changed their last name, gotten married, etc. So that's really for those. You don't have to worry about this part one passport. Don't worry about the passport one, right? Now, your corresponding address and home address, if they are both the same, you only need to fill it out one side, so you can fill it out here. If, however, your home address and correspondence is where you get your letters and stuff. If they are two different addresses, then you need to fill out both sides. Now, in terms of the telephone, this is an alternative contact, whether it's a home phone or something, but this is your mobile number in this one here. So you put your mobile number. Please ensure that the email you're putting here is the email you're going to send the application from. The reason is that this is the email. A lot of times, sometimes students type in an email here, but it's an invalid email because they made an error. And this is what the university is going to store in the system and how they're going to communicate with you. So it's really important that you send the email to me from the same email that you want to use, so I could verify it's a valid email address as well. Okay. Your email goes here. You don't have to worry about the Skype part. If do you have any criminal conviction, you can tick no or put a little X by no here if you'd like, right? If you're having problems ticking it off, then you leave it out and I will fill it in for you. The country of birth is where you were born, your nationality, whether you're Trinidadian, etc. If you prefer to put Trinidad and Tobagonian, that's all fine as well, right? So please, no offense meant if I just put Trinidadian here. Country of domicile is where you're currently living. It's possible you're not living in Trinidad at the moment, so you could include that there, right, as well. Apart from that too, right, here, you could just simply put no for all of these, right? No for all of these, not a problem. And how will you pay? You could put self-funded for how will you pay. Next section, this is normally filled out in the form I'm sending to you. This is already pre-filled, right? And over here, you will already have BSc Information Technology here. This is an undergraduate program. Now, this is where you fill out. This is where you indicate whether you want to start at year 1, year 2, or year 3. So if you're putting year 1, you can put year 1/level 4, year 2/level 5, or year 3/level 6. So this is where you indicate where you want to start. And this is when you want to start. You want to start in June 2021, which is our next intake, right? Now, here is where you put in your qualification of what not to do. Some students use one line per subject for your CXC subject. Don't bother to do that, please. If you're putting your CXC passes, you could put secondary here. You put when you started secondary school, when you finish, when you write the exam, which year you got your certificate. The awarding body is not your school. It is CXC is the awarding body. And you could put 6 CSEC passes if you wish. If you did A levels, you could use one line for it. You put when you started and when you finish, and you put the awarding body CXC, and you could put 8 K passes or how many K passes. If you did a certification, let's say you did A+ certification, right? You could put IT, you could put the year you started, you finish, etc. The awarding body was CompTIA and the certificate is A+ certification. What if you did a program at UTT or COSTAT or one of those? Well, if you did, you put IT as the qualification 2017 to 2019, and this is when you finish, right? So you started in 2017, finished in 2019, and you got your certificate in 2019. The awarding body is UTT, and you could put your diploma in whatever you got it in, right? If you did, let's suppose you were enrolled in UE, but you dropped out, right? And you did 2 years at UE, but you dropped out of the course or you had to exit for whatever reason. If it's an IT qualification, you put IT 2017 to 2020, there's nothing here because you didn't now get awarded. The awarding body is UE, right? And apart from that, you'll put the BSc IT year 2 and put incomplete. So this is where you reach incomplete. If you went to COSTAT, etc., you put COSTAT Associate Degree Operation Systems Management, etc. So that's how you fill out this part. Now, this part is crucial. The most important parts of your program, of this form, apart from your information at the front, is you must fill out this because the university is using this to assess which level to put you at. You will put here, you can put none, you put CSEC English, etc. Right now, please note in some of the forms, there's a little error where whatever you put here is automatically repeated in the other lines. Don't worry about that, right? And apart from that too, let me just close off my WhatsApp. Apart from that, if you work, you can put your work experience here. So if you have any work experience, whether it's not IT, whether it's part-time, whatever, include it here, please. I would recommend putting your most recent first and then the older ones after. So your IT technician, the name of the company is XYZ. You started in the 4th month, 2019 to current full-time. You also work as a clerk at the company A from 2016 to 2019. Full-time as well. So you put your work experience here. This is important because even though it's non-IT, it can help you as well getting in as well, right? Here, do you have any disabilities? Yes or no? How did you hear about us? Through CTS or through a friend? You could put the information here if you wish. I need here now for the references. I don't need any letters or anything from anyone, but I simply need you to put 2 persons here, 1 person here, 1 person here, and a phone number for them, etc. The person doesn't, ideally it shouldn't be family members, but if you can't get anyone, then your last resort. But it should be someone who knows you, someone who ideally might be employed, maybe if you're working as supervisor at work or something like that, or co-worker, that sort of thing, or a teacher or something. If you can't get those, then please, but you must fill it in, put a family member if your last resort, okay? And at the bottom here, you could sign it. If you're having problems to sign, no problem. You let me, you sign your stuff and I will fill in the signature for you. And that's the completed application form. Any question about the application? Now, one other thing I wanted to show you was the share drive. So I'm going to show you now the share drive as well. And in terms of the share drive, right? Sorry, let me just move this here. In terms of our share drive, I'll go to the share drive for the BSc program. So all of you will have access to a folder that looks like this. So I'll give you access to these here. So this is what the folder looks like. In the supporting information, you would have information such as academic writing, how to access Emerald Insight, to access your journal, some guides on doing group work, Harvard referencing, induction slides will be here, how to pay fees, access to view your results on City Vision, the timetable, Zoom link for class, so all of these will be here. So these are your supporting folder, which everyone will have access to. But let's suppose now you're in level 6, let's say. If you're in level 6, these are your units here. So let's suppose, for example, you are in research methodologies and emerging technology, right? You have a folder with books, right? So these are the core books that are being used for the unit. You have another folder with assessments as well, with past assessments also, right? You see sample assessments also. Apart from that, you will have the lecture notes as well. So for now, each of the previous semester, you have the lecture notes for the previous semester. So I'm giving you access to all the other folders with lecture notes as well. So in the last semester, these are the lecture notes. So what I did was you have 2 assignments for this. This lecture notes will run us several weeks, but the entire tutorial will be covered over 3 weeks here, but it's 1 lecture note, but it's covered over 3 weeks. And then for your second assignment, this is the lecture notes for assignment 2, covered over a 3-week period as well, okay? So this is part of your project. Because it's a project, it's not a normal teaching class where you have lots of lecture notes each week, etc. And of course, you have access to the online recording as well. And in the online recording, you will be able to view videos, the video recording for the classes. Okay, let's go to level 4. If you were starting at level 4, and they're all generally the same, right? So for example, if we just did fundamentals of computer studies. Within fundamental of computer studies, you'll see you have access to the books here, right? You have access to assessments and feedback. So you have the different assessments as well here, right? Apart from that, you have our lecture notes, right? So this is our lecture notes. My lecture notes are here. I did the hardware part. So you see topic 1, topic 2, topic 3. So you have your lecture notes over here. Even you have to do a test, and these are some tests that I would have collated as well that you have access to as well. So you have lots of mock exam and pass exams that you have access to, because that module has some tests in it as well. Apart from that, this is the university provided their guided learning. So this is the university's resources where they provided the different material as well from the university. So this is theirs. So you have access to their material plus our material as well. So this is what generally the shared drive consists of, as well as you have access to the online recording. If you were to go to the online recording as well, so in that last semester, you'd be able to view all the recording as well. It has the date, it have like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and stuff like that. And then of course you have like tutorials as well. So we had a revision class where we covered different topics. So you have those also. So this is what your online recording would be like as well. And this is how you will be able to access those. Any question regarding access to the material, guys, or any other question you may have? Okay, so based on that now, we've more or less come to the end of the form is in PDF, yes, right? So if there are any questions, comments, concern, you let me know. You have my number. My number is 777-1294, and I'll be emailing you with this material from today's class, from today's session as well. Just a note also that if you didn't get the, if for any reason you don't get the recording, simply message me with your email address, and I will send the recording to you in case you didn't get the recording. Is there any one of you here who did not get an email from me regarding the reminder of today's session? If you did not, then in that case, if you could probably just include your email address on the chat here, and I will ensure to add you as well to the list of students that I'm emailing the session to, okay? So is it possible to pay via PayPal? Not quite yet. We haven't gotten to the form of paying with PayPal, etc. But if you're not in Trinidad, you could pay via wire transfer, right? You could do bank transfer as well, okay? So if you want to include your email address on the chat, just in case I don't have it, feel free to do so. But once you have gotten an email from me regarding reminder of today's information session, then you would be getting the email. It means I have you on the list as well. There's no age limit for the course because I do have students under 18 who are in the course. I have students who are currently in Form 5 who are writing exam, who are starting the program as well. So just a note. So there are students under 18 starting the course. There is an October semester, right? So there's an October semester. The classes usually start by the last week of September, but the deadline for application, I would encourage you to apply before the end of August, right? And you could even apply now, and then you could defer your start to August to October if you wish. Okay. All right. Please feel free to keep sending in the question as well. What is the full cost of tuition for each level? So the full cost of tuition was shared in the file there. So level 4 is roughly 15,000, level 5 is 16,000, and level 6 is 26,000. That's before the discount, right? So the full cost of tuition, just to run through that again, level 4, 15,000, level 5, 16, level 6 is 26,000, right? Cool. Thank you very much. And please note, you can complete each level in 8 months, all right? So just a note as well, when you're choosing program, there are many options available, and all of the programs, I believe they are really good programs in Trinidad, whether it's UTT, COSTAT, Roytech, SBCS, SAMS, UE, right, NESC, etc. There are many different programs, and CTS College. When choosing a program, you have to look at factors that impact you. For example, how soon do you want to get your degree? Because if it's we have the most accelerated path to complete your degree, right? If it's costing, then you have gate-approved programs you can look at. The only thing is, in those programs, the duration might be 5 years, but again, if costing is your main concern, then you'd be able to get gate funding ideally at those programs, but you may need to verify as well, right? Apart from that, if support is really critical to you, because you could start a program, but the program has a high dropout rate. If you're looking at support, then CTS generally is really one of the best schools for support. And as I said, you could talk to past students as well, and they may be able to share with you as well, because I think a couple of students in the chat today indicated that a friend of theirs recommended them as well. So based on support, generally, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm being totally honest with you that the support for the BSc program is one of the best that you would get as well. As I say, you have access to me directly. I'm the owner of the institution, so you could escalate your problems directly to me as well to address also. Okay, so thank you very much. If you register now, our plan to start in October, will you still receive the discount? Yes, you can get the discount, because what we will do, right? The discount really is for if you pay before starting the semester. So we give you a cutoff date as well, right? So once you pay your fees in full before the cutoff date for that semester, you will get the discount. Cool. All right. So guys, thank you very much. And if there are no further questions, I guess we could end here as well. You have my number. Feel free to reach out to me as well. Please ensure you do the survey as well, right? I really need a response for the survey. So if you don't mind taking a minute to do the survey, right? Just click on the link. It's on the chat. Click on the link and just to fill out how you found out about us, please. Thank you, everyone, and have a blessed day.
Thank you very much. Same to you.
Bye.
Goodbye, guys.
Thank you. Same to you.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Rikash. Thanks, Akil. Bye, Kevin. Daikel. Thank you so much as well. Krishna, talk to you again. Christelle, thank you for being here as well.
Is it possible I can speak to you after everyone goes?
Sure, definitely. So I'll remain back. I'll just stop the